give you a quick update on the 1,000-foot of road project to the house site out by the waterfalls. So it's been really about 2 weeks, I guess, since I updated this. Last week we met with the soil scientist here on site because, as you know, extremely rocky site. One of the biggest difficulties about a site like this is really hard to get a septic evaluation, get an area to perk. This customer's actually bought 4 different lots here to try to get a conventional system to work here. They were permitted for a drip system, but that's about a $50,000 system, and you got to have a controller, meaning someone has to inspect it twice a year. One of the last lots they bought up in here, met with the soil scientist last week and worked with them with the mini excavator to kind of do some grubbing and clearing for them, digging some perk holes to try to check this soil out. Out of 5 acres here, this is the only spot we could get that was good enough soil for a regular conventional system, which is great because it's going to save the customer shooting off the hip roughly around 30,000 bucks. This will probably be with a pump because their house is 1,000 foot away almost, and they're gonna have to pump all the way out to here. This will probably be a $15,000 to $20,000 system. But you can see we've got it all flagged. Underbrush pretty well knocked down. We didn't go crazy with it because they may not be putting this in until about August, and we don't want all this stuff to grow back. All right, so spent the day with them there. We've got some brush kind of staged up here. We're going to leave all this low rhododendron and laurel as a buffer between the road and the septic site. So this will eventually, for the septic site, it'll be completely cleared other than these mature trees. So coming in, they want it to look really natural. They don't want to look up here and see a bunch of clearing. So we'll just load out this little bit of brush here and leave the rhodos. We worked through the weekend, trying to make up for some of the slower rain days we've had. As you can hear, Legend's out hammering through some rock right now and loaded out lots of brush. We've got pretty much all the brush from the beginning around the curve here. Got a little bit there and a little bit staged up at the front, and then what came from the septic site that we've got to get out. We've got gravel coming today. We had a jackhammer through the ditches to get a good deeper ditch. Got this crowned really nice, so half of our watershed is going into the ditch, half of the watershed is going off the hill, off the slope. You can see where we got all the brush out of all of that. Like I said, one little pile here, one little pile at the front. From basically this corner forward was all kind of just slate rock. We were able to get through it pretty good, but from here on back, we've been having to hammer a pretty good bit. There's just a straight rock wall here that's pretty cool. Runs up the mountain, but we're going through it, so it's made it quite challenging. This doesn't paint as good of a picture as what it really is because we've pushed good dirt over top of this. But you can see in these ditches, there's a natural spring in here as well that is keeping this pretty wet. So you see where we're hammering through all that. Legend's hammering away back here. We're just below the power pole, and some of you guys may notice how close we've actually gotten to that guide wire, and a lot of you guys probably know that you're actually supposed to stay 15 feet away from a guide wire or a pole when you're doing any excavation. Well, someone asked in one of our videos how in the heck they actually got these poles all the way out here, and the answer is I don't know, and neither does the power company. So when we met with them, we asked them if there's any chance we can move this pole so our road could go through here, because if you look over here, this is just a straight off drop off, and we're kind of right on the edge of that. He said, look, if you get me access in here, I'll put that pole wherever you want to, because they can't get to those poles. And if you look at the top of that one, it's almost broke off. So they need to be able to get to these poles to be able to move this stuff in the future. So they're going to move that pole on up the hill a little bit. That's actually where they're going to pull power all the way out to the house as well. Also going to set a box here, transformer box with 3-phase power, because we should be able to gravity feed from the house, the septic, down here to a pump, a lift station, that will then pump all the way up there to where you've seen the site at. So I'm gonna grab Legend, who's hammering through this rock, and we're gonna move back out to the front because I've got a load of gravel, and we're gonna, that dumped over there. Let me show you how slow of a process this is though.
The rest of it's kind of like the front ones. It's not
Exactly. That's a new window. That must be where they started that renovation. Okay, maybe the message was supposed to be passed along to you. I talked to someone up there, and he said when the lead inspector got back, he'd have him call me. Is that you?
Okay. Nobody told me anything.
That's all right, man. That's all right.
Yeah, that's my area, so
Okay.
what can I help you with?
Well, we're looking at buying this property up here, and you know, it's up here off 183. It used to be old bed and breakfast, 4-bedroom house. Looks like they pulled a permit on it in 2011.
Okay.
And no inspection was needed then on the septic. I'm hoping that's continued to be the case because this house has caught fire and it's going to need, you know, extensive repairs. And remember that by any chance?
Where is it at 183? Is it across the river or on this side of the river? Or? I don't remember doing a bed and breakfast house there.
Well, it's just a whole 4-bedroom house, and looking at some of the history, it looks like it was a bed and breakfast at one point. It's just on your side of the river, I believe, because there's a bridge I crossed right there. Old white house, big old house. It's covered in asbestos and little short driveway. It's right on top of the road. Creek that runs in the back side of it. It's right, like parallel with the road. The topo is the same. Like I've got a septic license, so the install, you know, we could get in over there if we had to.
Okay, yeah, that's the way we would handle it, so you don't need any paperwork from us. Wipe with a pen.
All right, perfect, man. I just wanted to make sure all my ducks were in a row before we closed on this thing, but that's what I thought. I appreciate you taking the time to go over it with me.
No problem.
Sweet.